If you ask people about the most famous ship in human history, they would mention Noah's Ark or the Titanic, which is relatively true. However, there are stories of other ships shrouded in more mystery, perhaps the most famous being the suspicious disappearance and reappearance of a British vessel called the Mary Celeste. This ship is surrounded by much mystery, with numerous tales and legends woven around it, making it one of the most famous maritime mysteries. It was discovered in 1872, drifting in the Atlantic Ocean without any trace of its crew, a case that has baffled people for more than 130 years. Its disappearance and reappearance without passengers sparked many theories and left a series of questions that puzzled both logic and science, leading people to nickname it the Cursed Ship. In this video, I will tell you the story of the ghost ship Mary Celeste. Let's begin. The Mary Celeste was a small but sturdy two-masted sailing vessel built in 1861 in Spencer's Island, Nova Scotia, Canada. Initially named Amazon, the ship was designed for cargo transport and long-distance travel. The ship changed hands several times and underwent major repairs. Despite its troubled past and numerous incidents, it was deemed seaworthy after the renovation work. It continued to transport cargo across the Atlantic for years. In 1868, the ship was sold to American owners and was completely refitted with many details changed, including its name, which was changed to Mary Celeste in 1869. On November 7, 1872, under this new name, it began its first ill-fated voyage. The ship was under the command of Captain Benjamin Briggs, who was not only an experienced sailor, but also a deeply religious man, known for his extreme caution at sea. He was accompanied by his wife Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, and a crew of 7 men. The ship sailed from New York Harbor bound for Genoa, Italy, carrying a cargo of 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol. It was expected to be a very routine journey, free of any difficulties or problems as planned. The weather was clear, the ship was in good condition, and even the crew was prepared and in good health. However, something strange happened along the way that caused the ship to disappear without leaving any trace. On December 5, 1872, another vessel, the British sailing ship Dei Gratia, captained by David Morehouse, spotted it about 400 miles east of the Azores, a chain of islands in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The Dei Gratia was also sailing to Genoa, Italy, following the same route as the Mary Celeste. There, Captain Morehouse and his crew noticed the ship and were puzzled. The Mary Celeste was drifting and moving erratically with no one at the helm. Captain David Morehouse recognized it as the Mary Celeste and knew it had left New York City a few weeks earlier, headed for Genoa, Italy. The ship appeared eerily abandoned. Captain Morehouse, who was a friend of Captain Benjamin, sensed something unnatural about this ship and ordered his crew to board it for investigation. When the Dei Gratia's crew boarded the Mary Celeste, they found the ship in an eerily primitive state, as if it had traveled through time. Yet paradoxically, the sails were partially set and the cargo hold was largely intact. There were no signs of struggle, damage, or collision. The ship was seaworthy and fully provisioned with enough food and water to last 6 months. Additionally, the crew's personal belongings and valuables such as money, jewelry, and Captain Briggs' navigation tools and maps were all still in place on board. Most surprisingly, the cargo of alcohol she had initially sailed with was intact and complete. The most terrifying aspect was that there was no trace of the captain, his wife, daughter, or the 7 crew members, and there were no signs of any fight, conflict, or crime. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. However, they noticed that the lifeboat was missing. When historians studied the ship's history, they discovered strange occurrences. During its first voyage, its captain suddenly fell ill and died. Over the years, the ship had suffered several accidents, including collisions with other vessels that caused significant damage, and once, an unexplained massive fire broke out on the ship. After discovering the missing vessel, it was sailed to Gibraltar, then under British rule. There, an official investigation into the mysterious disappearance of its crew began. British authorities were tasked with uncovering the truth behind this puzzling case. Every part of the ship was meticulously examined, but there was nothing indicating a catastrophic event, attack, or theft. The main cargo of industrial alcohol remained intact, Yet this investigation ended with more questions than answers. Initially, due to the strange circumstances and the odd condition in which the missing ship was found, Captain Morehouse and his crew, who discovered the Mary Celeste, were suspected of murder. The theory suggested that the rescue crew knew about a law that offered a monetary reward for finding lost ships at sea and rescuing their crew or salvaging the ship's hull. Therefore, they were suspected of pirating the ship and killing its crew, then claiming to have discovered it to claim the reward. However, after deeper investigation, no evidence was found to support these allegations, and ultimately, following the law, Captain Morehouse and his crew were awarded the monetary reward for finding the ship. But the investigation answered no questions and left the central mystery unsolved. What caused the Mary Celeste's crew to abandon their ship? If they died, where were their remains? What exactly happened to them? From the moment the ship was found abandoned of all life, speculations, theories, and rumors spread among people, much like how rumors spread now on social media and become trending topics. The Mary Celeste became the talk of the town in cafes, restaurants, bars, and barbershops among common people. As for the elite, scientists, historians, and researchers, this puzzle has troubled them for more than 130 years, and numerous hypotheses were proposed trying to explain what happened to these people and how they suddenly vanished from existence. First theory: piracy. The theory that the Mary Celeste fell victim to piracy or mutiny was one of the most proposed theories at the time. Piracy was widespread in the Atlantic Ocean, and there was a logical reason to pirate it since the ship carried a valuable cargo of industrial alcohol, plus the crew's valuable possessions like jewelry and money. However, what makes this theory weak is the absence of any signs of violence on the ship. Not a single drop of blood was found. Additionally, the alcohol cargo was still present, and even the jewelry and money remained on the ship, which would be illogical in a pirate attack. Second theory: supernatural forces. Due to the strange circumstances in which the Mary Celeste was found, it's quite normal to find mythical and metaphysical theories explaining her crew's disappearance. It's human nature to explain the unexplainable with the unproven. It's easy for a failure to explain their failure with magic, and easy for a criminal to explain their crime by claiming possession by a jinn. Therefore, all peoples have this tendency to explain the inexplicable with something supernatural or mythical. The sea monster theory was also proposed. In the late 19th century, sea monster stories were still common and widely circulated, especially by sailors who spread these tales to the general public. Some suggested that the Mary Celeste's crew was attacked by a giant creature from the depths. This theory is closer to fiction than reality, as there's no evidence of a monster attack. No damage to the ship was found. After this idea failed, another theory was proposed: the Bermuda Triangle. Although the ship wasn't actually sailing in the Bermuda Triangle, what happened to it was compared to other mysterious disappearances in that region. Some conspiracy theorists claim that the ship might have passed through a time portal or entered an area where supernatural forces were at work. But how could the passengers disappear while the ship remained? It was also suggested that the ship might have been abducted by aliens who took the crew into deep space, leaving behind an abandoned vessel. Of course, this theory might be entertaining and accepted by conspiracy theorists and flat earthers, but from a serious and rational perspective, it's not even worth discussing. Third theory: natural disaster. This theory suggests that the Mary Celeste's crew might have faced a sudden environmental event that forced them to abandon the ship with all its contents and flee in the lifeboat. Natural disasters are often cited in attempts to explain maritime mysteries, including waterspouts. A waterspout is a tornado that forms over water, and the Mary Celeste might have encountered one at sea, causing the crew to panic and escape in the lifeboat. This theory would explain the ropes and sails that the rescue crew found in poor condition. However, there's a flaw in this theory. The ship was found intact without any damage to its hull. Fourth theory: alcohol vapor leak. This theory, among the most widely accepted, suggests that the crew might have feared an explosion due to vapor leaking from the alcohol barrels stored in the ship. The denatured alcohol was highly flammable, and if there was a leak, vapors could have accumulated in the storage area, potentially causing a fire or explosion that would destroy the ship. Ignition could easily occur from a spark from the cooking stove, lanterns, or even a lighter. This theory was built on the fact that the ship was carrying 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol, with some barrels found empty. The theory suggests that after Captain Briggs and his crew smelled alcohol vapors coming from the cargo hold, they panicked and left the ship in the lifeboat, fearing an explosion. There's evidence supporting this theory, such as the fact that the rescue crew found the ship's hatches open, possibly indicating that the crew tried to ventilate the ship to prevent an explosion, plus the missing lifeboat suggesting the crew did indeed abandon ship. However, there's a hole in this theory that raises more questions than answers. If the crew temporarily evacuated the ship until the vapors dissipated, why didn't they return after confirming the ship wouldn't explode? And why weren't any bodies or lifeboat wreckage found for more than 130 years? Alongside the Titanic, the mystery of the Mary Celeste remains one of the most puzzling enigmas in maritime history. To this day, no final theory has emerged that can explain what happened to those people and where they disappeared to. But that's the most beautiful thing about this type of incident. The longer it remains an unsolved mystery, the more it retains its awe and mystique. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to share it with your friends and join the channel to receive all new updates.